Prairie, marsh, deep hardwood forest, and a lake settlers named on the 4th of July. You can ride through all of it in 1,000 years of human history in a single afternoon. This is Baker Park Reserve. Baker sits in Medina, Minnesota, west of the Twin Cities, wrapped around the south shore of Lake Independence. 3,300 acres of restored prairie, cattail marsh, hardwood forest, and lakeshore. One of the most varied landscapes in the whole metro. Long before any of it was a park, this was the eastern edge of Minnesota's big woods. A dense, shadowed forest of sugar maple, basswood, and elm that once covered this whole region. Ride the wooded sections of Baker and you are moving through a surviving remnant of it. And this was home. The lakes and woods of western Hennepin County were the homeland of the Mdewakanton Dakota. Those who are born of the waters, who live by exactly these kinds of lakes for generations. That changed in a single summer. In the 1851 Treaty of Mendota, the Mdewakanton ceded almost all of southern and western Minnesota, this land included, opening it to settlers within a few short years. The settlers came fast. On the 4th of July, 1854, a small party followed an old Indian trail northwest, found a canoe pulled up on dry land, a sign that water was near, and pushed through the trees to a wide silver sheet of water. They named it, for the day, Lake Independence. Then a full century later, the land came back to the public. In 1956, Morris Baker's Foundation donated the first parcel here, and Baker became the very first regional park in Hennepin County. 16,000 people came that first year. The next year, 50,000. Baker never stopped teaching this history. Tucked in its woods is the near wilderness settlement, where the park still demonstrates the skills of the 1800s, how the Dakota and Ojibwe made fire, the games they played, how people lived with this land instead of on top of it. Baker is one park in the Three Rivers District, named for the three watersheds its parks drain into: the Mississippi, the Minnesota, and the Crow. Baker's water belongs to the Crow. So every mile here is really two rides at once. On the open stretches, you cross restored prairie and marsh, grassland and cattail that the park has spent decades bringing back. And then the trail folds into the trees, the cool green hush of the old hardwoods, the big woods remnant closing over the path. Always, somewhere off through the trunks, is the water. Lake Independence, the same sheet of silver those settlers found, the same lake the Dakota knew long before them. That is what makes a place like Baker worth slowing down for. Homeland, then frontier, then the county's first park. Layer on the same quiet ground, and all of it still here to ride through. This was Baker Park Reserve in Medina, Minnesota. 12 miles of prairie, woods, and water with the whole story riding along. If you would ride this, subscribe. There is a world of trails ahead. Explore the world.